Hey guys, today we're taking a look at my Hamon Lord of Striking Thunder deck. Now, this deck is obviously focused on summoning out Hamon. It uses continuous spell cards, it uses the Crystal Beasts, and probably one of the better ways to bring him out. But if you want, you could run like an actual Crystal Beast deck and use him as like a boss card, and then the deck will be a little more consistent. This deck is, again, just focused on bringing him out, so it's not as consistent. But if you like the card and you want to have a deck just based on him, this is how I think one of the better ways to do it is. So first off, we're going to be running 3 Hamon. In a deck like this, 3 is a bit much, but we're focusing on him. He's the boss of the deck. He's the idea behind the deck, so we're going to be running 3 of him. Again, if you're running like actual Crystal Beast or something like that, you probably will only run, 1 or 2 of him. And then the Crystal Beast, we're going to be running Amber Mammoth, Sapphire Pegasus, Topaz Tiger, and Carbuncle. All, the ones with good attack, and Carbuncle just helping us out with its ability, which can be really nice for swarming later on in the duel. So nice to have that. Sapphire Pegasus, obviously very powerful in this deck, and Topaz Tiger and Amber Mammoth just helping us out a bit. You could definitely run other Crystal Beasts if you want, like Cobalt Eagle or something like that, or run more Crystal Beasts just in general. Then we're running Dragon Queen. Dragon Queen's somewhat of an alternative to Hamon, giving you some additional power, which can be a nice card to get out there and keep bringing him out. Definitely nice in this deck. And then 2 Burden of the Mighty. Not as useful nowadays with XYZs, but still can be really, really nice, especially when you get 2 of this up. Your opponent's going to have a big problem unless they have XYZs at the ready. And then 2 Gravekeeper Servant, another really nice continuous spell card that will annoy your opponent. And then rare value, Crystal Promise, just some of the Crystal Beast support, not too much in this deck, but we do have access to some of that to make some of our plays. Crystal Promise, obviously very useful with Ruby Carbuncle. And then 2 Messenger of Peace. Obviously it's going to stall us, but since we can destroy it really at any time, it's not a big deal. Really nice to set up for Hamon. And then 2 Prohibition, another really nice continuous spell card. If you're pretty good at knowing what card your opponent wants to use, this is a very, very powerful card. So definitely allows you to mess with your opponent. And then 2 MST, 2 Forbidden Lance. Forbidden Lance, very good to protect Hamon because Hamon can be destroyed pretty easily by spell and traps. And then Dark Hole. It's worth mentioning, obviously, with Crystal Beast, Dark Hole gets even better because of the plays that we can do when they get destroyed. And after the traps, just staple traps, not too much to say there. So for the extra deck, obviously we're going to have a variety of 4 stars because that's the focus in this deck. So Silent Honor, we have 2 of them because we have room for 2 of them. Great to have nowadays. We're running 2 Heartlandraco. With a deck like this that has continuous spell cards up all the time, I think this can be a really good card, giving you an alternative to do some nice damage to your opponent. And then 1 Fairy King with the Earth level 4s we have, 1 Chidori with Sapphire Pegasus, Exciton, Gagaga, Lavalval Chain helping us out, Photon, Evilswarm Ouroboros just because we have some swarming that we can do, and Diamond Direwolf, obviously nice with some of the card types we have, Maestroke, Abyss Dweller, and 1 Gustav just, helping us out if we happen to get out 2 Hamons, we can do some additional damage, which can be pretty nice. So now for the side deck, if you haven't seen a video of mine before, side decks in my decks are just kind of recommended cards that I want people to think about when they're building their own deck that is utilizing Hamon. It's not really a side deck for matches. These aren't cards I want you to side. These are just cards that, you should kind of think about when you're building a deck. So there's a lot of random monsters out there that can kind of help with this deck. Pumprincess is kind of like a Crystal Beast, makes itself continuous and can do some additional things, which is nice. Koa'Ki Meiru Ice is interesting because it can keep itself out with those continuous spell cards, and you can destroy special summon monsters, so it can be powerful. Gravi-Crush Dragon, another interesting thing to use continuous spell cards to destroy monsters. So variety of interesting monsters out there that you might want to consider using. Just some random ideas I have. Again, you can run more Crystal Beast, run Rainbow Dragon. You can do an OTK with Rainbow Dragon and Hamon, so that can be interesting. Great Maju could be an interesting card in this deck because you can special summon Hamon, then tribute Hamon, and you'll have an 8,000 attack monster, so that can be interesting. A lot of different spells you could use for this deck. Makiyu can be useful for destroying your opponent's monsters. Monster Reincarnation for getting Hamon can be useful. And then the tons of other continuous spell cards that you could use. Level Limit, Stumbling for stalling, Card Trader. If you use Card Trader, Recycle, Convulsion of Nature, Archfiend's, all these cards will help you kind of recycle your deck and let you do a lot of really interesting plays together, so that can be really interesting. Watsine, with Hamon, you can do tons of damage with that card in addition to using it to bring out Hamon. You can use this, in addition with Watts and then do some other variations as well. And you could run other Crystal Beast cards like Crystal Abundance and Crystal Tree and all that other stuff that can help out with this deck type. There's also a lot of other, spells and monsters and traps that have things to do with continuous spell cards that could also be helpful. So definitely worth looking into. I just couldn't fit them all in my side deck. So that's my Hamon deck. Again, just a Crystal Beast deck that has a lot of continuous spell support to bring out Hamon as quickly as possible. Meant to be more fun than competitive because, again, if you want a stronger deck, you should probably go with Crystal Beast, just because that focuses more on consistency. But if you guys have your own Hamon deck, maybe you have some cards I didn't think about, you could post below, you can give me suggestions, you could just, let me know of some cool cards that could be useful for this deck that I didn't think about that could be really interesting. Obviously, this deck I just updated from a previous version, so, as I get more ideas and as I work on it, I'll keep updating it and changing some stuff around. But that's about it for me. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later.